So therefore, we're able to balance when you do assessment on how you look red and how the community is satisfied about the performance, and we're able to give you good marks as a result. So it's quite a tricky performance assessments that we do. We don't chase number of arrests. We actually discourage arresting for no reason. We arrest if you really have to, if the crime is committed, and it is a serious crime. It's not something that people can mediate on. Then we remain in good terms. So as is here, we've categorized this crime in terms of 17 reported cases. But the main ones that are concerning us are the ones that where human beings affected personally, where people come and threaten you, and they rob you, or they assault you, they rape you, or they kill you. Something like that. So it's those that are priority. We refer to them as conduct crime. So when you look at the total conduct crime, Honorable Premier, eThekwini performed relatively well in that last quarter. That there was a reduction of minus 1.3% in terms of crime that was reported at eThekwini in this reporting period. When you see here, this is a total conduct of crime that we are tracing. Of course, there are different categories here according to their seriousness, murder, sexual offenses, and so forth going down. You will notice all the time assaults, common robberies will always remain a problem for us. There are many reasons for that. But here's our biggest concern also on sexual offenses. As you can see here on this presentation, that is red, it looks red, which means our men in this province remains animals. We don't respect females. We still treat them that bad. It therefore means the men in this room, which are the majority as I can see, we are not doing enough to reach out to our fellow colleagues out there to be able to speak sense to them. Do not go on television and talk, because people don't watch TV, the bad ones, they don't listen to your television. Go house to house, find them in places where they converge and drinking spots, and talk some sense to them. So until you switch on the television in the pub and play a victim of gender-based violence in the TV screen while they are watching soccer match, pause on the social match and let them watch the reality that you face. If we go out in those areas and we promote such, we might start reaching out to the real people who are causing problems. Because most of the time they don't focus on serious news. They're more social. They go and drink, they watch game, they go home, they feed their wives. That's really what we see. And when you analyze this, in the main, you find it within the township. That's where it happens. So rapes and sexual offenses, some of them might not be reported, especially in the rural areas. We have Honorable Premier, a forgotten district in this province. I don't know for whatever reason that is forgotten. Umzinyati district. It is the source of criminality in this province, in the country at large. Almost every hitman you get gets recruited from. These are youngsters where the polygamy, it's a culture, it's a common thing. Just go around and find any boy that comes from there, you ask them, who's your father? They say, my father is so and so. I don't know my father. My father gave birth to myself and 2 siblings, and he had also another wife with another family, and he went to Johannesburg, he worked in the mine, he never came back. And we grow up, we have to fend for ourselves, we have to figure out how to navigate this life. And while on that, you also get a ubabomnane who comes, and when the father dies, angene umama, and made your mama pregnant, and forget about these children of his brother. And so when these boys grow up, they grow up not knowing what to do, and they get recruited. They get recruited and they end up committing crime. So that's what we've seen most of the time, when we analyze our crime. So what we see happening in our crime, it is because of somewhere where we are not fixing a problem. We are dealing with the outcomes. We're not analyzing the root causes of why people do what they do. We have to go back into that and deal with it. So without wasting much of your time on this one, a total of our cases, as you can see here, 17 community reported crime of eThekwini, there was a decrease of -2.7%. So I do hope that the business is going to be quite happy when they see this. They should come back and invest more of eThekwini as we see crime going down. We do our level best to recover firearms. As you can see here, there is more firearms that have been found here at eThekwini. In the last quarter of a period of 3 months, the eThekwini alone as a district, they recovered 294 firearms. And they remain the highest number of firearms recovered in the province. Most of them come from eThekwini district. So that is our problem. We want to do more on drugs. On drugs, we're not recovering as much as we can. I can safely say, Premier, the head office have listened to us. They've made money available, so we'll be able to buy mobile scanners to be able to search all these trucks that are moving on our roads. Because CO and then the colleagues, Ms. Piri, will be bringing all the shipments from outside the country, and in those shipments, there are a lot of bad things inside. And they themselves also don't know as importers. They don't have a clue what is inside their container. Because these criminals, they take a lift, they open the seal and they put things there and they close it off again. And they offload these things before they reach their warehouses. So that's the modus operandi that they do. So we hope once we have scanners to be able to scan these containers, is going to increase our level of recoveries as the police. So I don't want to waste much of the time. What you see here in the following slide is just the really breakdown of stations that are in the top. There are 42 stations at eThekwini. The top 10 stations are the ones that are reflected on the screen. By and large, eThekwini being the busiest one, that's where majority of people come in and do business, and they commute between here and other parts of the city. Phoenix remains a problem in the main with drug abuse as well as alcohol. Chatsworth, we have similar problems there. Informal settlements, it's the one that is troubling us in the main. Inanda is always a talk of time. What you see as we have listed here on the side, it's how we are rating these politicians out of top 10 as the province of KwaZulu-Natal and how they are rated at national. So when you see Durban Central in the last quarter being #1 contributing station in crime in the country, in the province, it was the same in the country. So they remain the most contributing station in crime. So Durban Central, Cape Town Central, Johannesburg Central have a similar problem. Because people come in here to come and do business and they leave. There's a lot of pickpocketing and robberies, you name it. So there's a lot of cases that get generated in the main. On weekends, you hardly find crime in those police stations. During the week, it's a bad place to be. Because that's where economic activities are happening. Wonder why business will move out. So I'm going to, for the sake of time, I just leave it here. I felt that I must just indicate the state of policing at eThekwini. But there are different crimes that we're monitoring. I feel that I must only highlight those that are more of a concern for us. Contact crimes, as well as some trio crime of robberies and the like. But most of them, there's quite a good positive performance that you see coming from the eThekwini district. Ngiyabonga kakhulu for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Provincial Commissioner. I wish to request our artist to just give us music.
Siyathokoza kakhulu ithuba wagcina ngaleso.
And due to this cut, we want to make our thing faster. We do that at the end. Let me allow Honorable MP Kaula, MPC Sports, Arts and Culture, to introduce our guest on the preview.
Thank you very much, Program Director, Honorable Minister Mkhwanazi, Agriculture and Rural Development, Honorable Premier of our province, Honorable Thami Ntuli, Honorable Minister for Finance in the province, Honorable Francois Rogers, the Provincial Commissioner of our province, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, the acting PG, Dr. M.J. Zulu, as well as to the Premier, and Mr. Mtaga, Doctor, I don't see him around, the Chief of Staff, Bishop Mkhwanazi, Provincial Chaplain, and all the members of the clergy, abantwana baseNdlunkulu, abezitha, amakhosi aseNdlunkulu, the business sector, the provincial chairperson of the CPF, and all the fighting stakeholders who are with us here today, the stakeholders from business, stakeholders from government, from the private sector, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, Honorable Premier, my apologies for arriving late. As the PC was talking, we were in Newcastle today with the HOD, Dr. Spooner. She had to leave me in Newcastle and rush to that meeting. I was not at the meeting with the PC. She had to leave me and rush to that meeting, and they left me in Newcastle. So we had a little bit of issues trying to go faster through Peter respect because of the construction there. Yes, so my apologies, Peter. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm introducing someone really who needs no introduction. It's a mere formality. But I do want to say, like the MEC was saying earlier on, we are blessed in the province to have this pair of hands, or this pair of gentlemen in the province in this portfolio. Our Premier hails from the district of King Fetchwayo, in Nkandla, born and bred there, and in his young days, of course, like all of us, he went to school in the royal schools of Nkandla. Before graduating as a teacher, he was once a security officer, 24/7 at the gates of the legislature in Burundi. He became a teacher, became principal of the school, got involved in the unions, in the teacher union, NATO, became the chairperson at one stage. He's a choir master. Some of you may have seen some of the social media clips where the Premier, when he gets to a competition where choirs are competing, you will just move you aside and take over. The Premier is a very active person, not sleep 24/7. And nobody complains about, you know, MSCs don't complain about the lot of work, but they complain about the short hours of the day. If they can complain about the lot of work, it will easily be a issue of saying, oh, okay, go home and then we get somebody else. So they don't complain about the lot of work, they complain about the short hours of the day, the short days of the week, and the few months of the year. They would wish that we have more hours, we have more days, we have more months in the year, because the Premier wants results. The Premier is a Premier of action. He wants to see things happening, he wants to see things getting done, he wants to see the people of KwaZulu-Natal getting serviced. That is the kind of Premier we have. And the Premier, of course, when we grew up, we used to say we are although and my other colleagues or my peers, I will not say myself my president, but at one stage I was his chairperson, he was my secretary. But we used to say we are the sons of the men you can trust. That is what the Premier is. Mentored by Mkhwanazi and adores the teachings and the ethics of Mkhwanazi. There's so much that day by day he will say to us, let us live to the letter what Mkhwanazi left with us. That is the kind of a person he is. So this issue of work ethic, the issue of being ethical, the issue of servanthood and all those, that is where he gets them from, and that's the person I'm introducing to you in Premier. who is in control of a province that is a combo of 4 different political parties, but there is stability. You know, the fruit salad sometimes the fruit salad, if you are not used to it, it will give you cramps. And when you get to a buffet, you want to eat, you choose, you know. There's bread, there's this and this and that. It don't take much, but the people are taking so much, but there are no cramps, no stomach ache, no stability.
The MEC Paula for the introduction that he has made. I think yes, some of the things that feel good to be corrected to myself. I must also thank the program director, our MEC for Agriculture and Rural Development, for attending our program today, and then our money man, our finance MEC, who's helping us to rescue this government during very difficult times. Ndonga, our provincial commissioner, I also extend my greetings to yourself. I did not share with you quite adequately that today, when we were in Laz, I realized that we made a mistake to allow you not to be there, because people wanted you. We were fortunate in Machenga that they were able to listen to us. Where is Machenga? That they were able to listen to us, otherwise they appeared as if they moved towards telling us that we must leave. We thank you very much for the work that you do with your peace. The Acting Director General, Dr. Zulu, Special Advisors, Dr. Wala and Mr. Mdaga, the Commissioner for the Police in Metro here, Matsingwan. I've seen Mkhwanazi, it might happen there that there are Mkhwanazi Batwana Bakola. Ngiyakhuleka nina basezinkulu uma bekhona abanye ababona. The spiritual leaders who are present here, I did not know really who was going to be here, but when I saw the likes of the many I admire most, I was really humbled. And I know that some of you have traveled quite a very long distance to be here tonight. Manjina, who's the chairperson of the CPF in our province, and your executive, the youth desk, Menziwa, Nonke Bakwe. I wish to extend my greetings to yourselves. Roger Chamberlain, you'll pardon me because my logic might be not as normal for someone who has been at work since 7 a.m. There may be some, you see, gaps. But I wish to extend my greetings to Alisa and to other business leaders who are present here. Our acting HOD, HO staff, and all the officials from our government. And everyone who's present here. I know that there are other men and women who are ensuring the safety of our society. I've seen some of them here. I must say, I'm also aware that there are also councillors from eThekwini, the deputy chairperson of SAGA, Councillor Jai Jai. I know that is amongst the people who are inside here because I did check. They told me that she's here. The other councillors who are also here. I can see Councillor Mkhwanazi. Let me say to all our leaders who are present here, I extend my greetings. I extend my greetings to the members of the media, if there are any present here, and also to the police who are working with us. I must thank you for availing yourself in this very important program. I'm saying it's important because you are important too. As a province, we are facing a period of rebuilding, reshaping, not only the province but the future of our children. We are compelled by the time to do something, to stand together, to rebuild and reshape this province. Not only one man can reshape this province, can shape the future of our province. Not only government, not only the police. We need to stand together. Bafowethu my is singiyabona Thabazolo kancane. Ngimbone noDr. Sifunda engene. Angazi mabekhona abanye bakwethu ngiyababingelela ngoba bese ngithi ngibingelela lonke umuntu ngiyamhlonipha khona ngoba ngiyazi isinqumo sokuza la. We are walking a journey which requires leadership that is going to lead this country towards a particular destiny. We need to start by dreaming that country, or dreaming that future, seeing that future, so that we'll be inspired to stand together and do something. Our people, our society, they are facing a huge societal problem which affects all of us. Which is crime. And I know that all of us are aware that some of the reasons we are facing the current societal problem is because of the apartheid system that have left an unequal society. People are complaining that they are unemployed, that is why they commit crime. Because the society is living at different levels. We know that the socio-economic factors contributes. We cannot deny that. And we know why we have the society which is not living at the same level. But it will not help us to lament about the past. We have been selected here today because we are saying our precious gold we have as a province is this city, the city of eThekwini. When we talk about the future where the economy will grow to a level that new job opportunities will be realized, it means we must fix something here. We know that crime threatens investors, threatens a business. If we want to rebuild this province, we need to fix the problem of crime. We need leadership that will lead the society towards a time where it will say KwaZulu-Natal is safe, and that leadership is yourself. That is why you are here. We are not here to listen to an address by someone who will think he knows everything, or maybe because it's the premier, he knows everything. You are here because we believe in your intellect. But not only your intellect, also in your conviction. That when you believe on something, you can deliver it. Njosa kakhulu ngoba I heard ukuthi nabahloli la engosa futhi nababingeleli kanti basiniphatha kahle kakhulu kabi nike labasenzela wona lapha esifundazweni lwethu. I heard that there is also isihloko sami with district director. Manje ke I do not wish to be long. I may take too long because I was once a teacher at times, you see. But really what I've said I think is enough. It allows everyone to digest on the rationale as to why we're here. From the religious perspective, the Maker has his own ways of doing things.
Yes.
I believe what we're doing now, though people may say, you say this is in this or these sessions, these consultative sessions have been there for decades, but they have not delivered any result. I mean, I've seen results. I went to Osizweni the other day in Kuala Lumpur, and I met your Major General there, I think it's Major General Alexander. There was a problem of gangsterism, which was quite very bad. We engaged the community, we engaged the safety structures, and we said to them, work with the police. This problem is going to come to an end. When I went back to Osizweni, Major General Alexander told me that they no longer have that kind of a problem.
Wow.
There is quite enough evidence to suggest that the solution is with us, is in us. We are the solution. With members of the society who have agreed that they are not living quite well with their families when there is crime. As a result, they have volunteered. Some of them are seated here in the table. They are volunteers. They spend their time, at times their money. They expose themselves to danger.
Sure.
Volunteering for our safety. When you go out there, the number Manchinga was actually mentioning here, 1,000 plus, was referring to the majority of the people who are unemployed. Some of them who are not literate. But they are standing together to fight crime on our behalf. We have people who are quite very influential in this society. Those who are employed. You say, remember, during our time, when I used to visit families when they were having functions, because I was a teacher, even if others were sitting on the floor, when I arrived there to give me a chair, giving me a sense of authority, that whatever I will say here, they will change even the plates that I use because now there is a teacher. That is how you are highly regarded by the society. Your voice matters. But the challenge is, people who have influence in the society, they do not use that influence to change the behavior of the society.
True.
That is our challenge. The only thing a person will do who's working, who's enlightened, when there is crime, will only put the birthday cards in the house. When he has a car or she has a car, we'll only put 3 trackers in the car. And will not care about what is happening in the surroundings. Whereas the fact is, you cannot ensure that the society is safer or your family is safer by putting those measures. But if you engage the community surrounding you to say, let us meet to talk about this societal problem. How can we ensure, because we know the criminals. At times the police will not know the criminals. Because criminals, they ensure that when they commit crime, they look around and they ensure that there is no police, then they commit crime. And they are our friends, our relatives, our children, our loved ones. We know them. They are known by the society. Your society requires a leader in that society who will give a voice or a way to say, let's stand together now, let's fix this problem. We're trying to champion a genius government. That is invitational. That is saying you are all important. You all have a role to play in rebuilding this province for the sake of your children. For the sake of children. For the sake of your family, your relatives, your loved ones. For the sake of yourself. The syndrome of saying government will do everything has never worked. Has never delivered any results. I know that as politicians at times when we campaign, we promise that we'll do everything. We do not tell you that we'll work with you to deliver, but we tell you that we'll deliver. That's what we say. But the truth of the matter, that has never worked. Otherwise, we're a generation of the adults who are watching our country going down. If we do not stand together and do something. I've said, people really admire you for the fact that you are such a figure in your society. You may not know. You can turn around the behavioral pattern, even the way people think. You can agree with us today that we are taking it into our task to lead this province into a future where KwaZulu-Natal will be safer. Why only those who are employed, some of them who are poor and illiterate, volunteers to fight crime? Why you are a nation that doesn't care? I believe in you. And I strongly believe in you. You see, Manchenga was saying something quite very important in his own terms. That we're not saying to everyone, go and become a volunteer on the safety structures. There are ways you can deliver a safer province, you can contribute. Like today, we went to a Gagasini to launch a program of school safety where we were saying, as community safety and liaison. I apologize, PC, because I thought my department had time to sit down with your office to agree on the terms and conditions and everything, because I understood that what was important was a partnership, an MOU, to say police, community safe, and development education are working together on this program. But I think the SOD will help us to fix that. We got a stats of the schools that are having a problem of crime, bullying, and then we agreed that we need to do something as community safety and liaison. When our schools are not safe, it means the society is not safe. We then agreed that the first thing to do for now, let us have some cameras installed in schools. Cameras which is not easy to steal, because they record you as you walk towards those cameras, and they don't have the old system where in their computers is there just in the principal's phone or whoever's phone, and they sense as you walk towards those cameras, they sense. They also have an alarm system when it's switched on after school. No one can walk inside the premises because the alarm will begin to signal that there is something. You see, the technology is a wonderful technology I saw there. So we're saying to those schools with a problem of crime, serious crime, because we don't have enough money, we need to start there. But we have agreed with the project commissioner that amongst very fundamental things that we need to do in our province, we need to use technology now to fight crime and fighting crime. Hence, he was mentioning the issue of the surveillance cameras all over the province, that they are quite very important. The issue of street lights, so that we don't have dark corridors at night. There are so many service delivery issues that we need to also address, but we need technology, including drones. That is where we say as government, we can't have enough money to install such technology everywhere in the province. We need business to join our effort. It is in their interest to have a safer province so that also their businesses will operate in a safer environment. When criminals know that to go in that area, there are drones which are hidden somewhere, or there are cameras which is not easy to destroy, it will not be easier for them to go to those sites. They have to really plan. That is why we require business to come. Even for the safety structures, you find that safety structures, they are short of walker-talkers, just airtime, torches, those little things. We now need to develop the mind that believes in working together, in investing in what matters to everyone. I think I need to sit down. I only just wanted to only say that is why when they informed me that they are holding this very important dinner, I said it's a very important session to meet such important individuals of our province. citizens of our province, whom I believe, if we work together, we can change this province. I believe in that. Everything starts with conversation. When the conversation is honest, really honest, it's easy to turn around to the challenges you are facing. If one MEC or one premier can go to Kanda, to Msima, to Mkhwanazi, to wherever, you'll never see a change. But if we have a group of leaders who are on the same mission, we'll see the change.
That's true.
Don't forget that as we are seated here, having this important conversation, criminals are also planning.
Sure.
But they are a minority, we're a majority.
Yes.
When you go to a society, even to Mkhwanazi, the population of Mkhwanazi is far above the number of the criminals there. Very few people are criminals. But they threaten the society. Why? It's because the society is not united. The society is failing to stand together. That is a call one is making today. That let us engage. I wish that when we engage, when we are given the option to engage, we engage as different sectors. We do have a council against crime in the province. We had a strategic session wherein amongst the strategies of making people aware of the challenge that we are faced with, of inviting people to participate or to collaborate with the police, we agreed that we need such sessions. It's not that someone will just say, what I say, would. But I also believe that all the contributions that we receive today are quite very important. And we will not lose sight of them. We will use them. They will encourage us to soldier on. You see, when you look at the effort of the police in our province, the courageousness of Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, now Mkhwanazi, and men and women who are in the service. Now Mkhwanazi really, we feel encouraged. At the times, I normally ask myself whether are we doing enough to support them? Do we have to only tell them that we support them, or we need to do something so that we make their work easier? That is why they are here today.